Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make some cards using the rule of 3. So this, as you'll see, has got 3 pieces of designer series paper on it, and this is using the 12 by 12 pack of Nests of Winter. And then after I've shown you how to do this, I'll quickly go over some I made with the 6 by 6 iconic celebration. So I'll pop it off to one side for now and bring in the ingredients. So it's a piece of pecan pie, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, which, as we know, is what fits inside the standard envelope. And then I've got a layer of real red, which is cut down just by 1/8. So this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then there is the basic white, which fits, which is the more usual, the 4 by 5 1/4. So let me just get these built into the layers quickly. Oops. So we'll pop that on. It's just got this small little layer around. Really, it's just so that you'll see it just gives a nice little pop around the edge and brings out the red elements of the designer series paper. So this is a little bit of a mathematical cutting style. So what I did was I cut the sheet of 8.5 by 11 down into 6. I think I've shown you how to do that before, but I will make a note of it on my blog that goes with the instructions for this card. So this is just the piece that pops in the middle. So that's the body of the card made. Now the designer series paper, it came from, like I said, it came from the Nests of Winter, and it was these 2 papers, and I just cut a 3-inch strip down one side, and then the birds I just fussy cut out of these guys. These are great, and as you know, if you've watched my channel before, you know I'm a big fan of fussy cutting. I just find it very relaxing. So I've got the 3, actually 2 of them are the same, so they're just flipped over. So I'm just going to pop the 3 pieces of designer series paper on, and these are 4.5 by 1.5. It's just a nice width to cover the front. Look, sticking to me. It's just a nice width, I feel, to cover the front of the card. So we're just going to put them on sort of higgledy. Cattywampus is a word that American people use, which I think is such an awesome word. It's very onomatopoeic, isn't it? Cattywampus. But there we go. Instead of trying to get them to be straight, if you put them higgledy on purpose, it just has a nice effect. And then here's the little guy that I fussy cutted out of that big sheet of 12 by 12 paper. I'm just going to bring in my silicone mat, so if I overrun with the sticky, it doesn't go onto my work surface. So I'm just going to pop that onto a circle I pre-cut out of the Stylish Shapes dies. And then we'll pop some dimensionals on the back. Peel the backings off really quickly. And that can just go in the middle like that. And then I'm going to bring in the Peaceful Season stamps, and it's going to be wishing you and yours a season of wonder and happiness. So I went ahead and die cut the banner again out of the Stylish Shapes, and I'm going to bring in the real red ink because it coordinates with the berries and it brings out the red of the border that we created. So we'll just do wishing you and yours, and then inside we'll finish the greeting through, and it can say a season of wonder and happiness. So that's rather a nice card. And because the bird is up on dimensionals, this doesn't necessarily need to be. So I'm just going to pop it down, but I am going to put it a little bit higher up than this one, just because this particular piece had the two little birds peeking out and I wanted them to sort of match. Now, the nice thing about when you cut 4.5 by 4.5, it's 9. So then it leaves a piece at the top, and because they were 3.5, 1.5 by 1.5, at the top I got this lovely piece that is 3 by 3. So you know me, they'll be like, oh, I could make another card from that. I'm not going to show you that today, but I will do a future card using it. So stay tuned, my friends, stay tuned. So that was the cards. That's the rule of 3 made using 12 by 12 paper. The next one I'm going to show you is made using 6 by 6. Of course, 12 by 12, you can cut down into 4 pieces of 6 by 6. It's not, there's nothing magical about it, but it's just, I wanted to, let me just grab the papers that I used out of the iconic imagery. So these were the designer series papers that I used. And of course, they're all two-sided. So mathematically, again, stack those up. I've made a little template, and as always, of course, all the directions and dimensions and any pertinent templates will be on my blog, so you could head on over there to be reminded of the cutting. So 1.5, you can get 4 of those across the 6, but if you cut it 4.5 tall, it leaves 1.5. So then you've got this lovely strip that you can cut down to be 4.5, and you've got this cute little square, which again, you can make different cards from. So on the strength of that, I went ahead and made myself a batch of cards, because I cut 8 pieces down, 8 5s are 40. And if you're going to use the rule of 3, 3 into 40 goes 13 times, and you do get one little piece left over. So these were the cards that I made. So many of them. It really was just an eeny, meeny, miny pick a design. So that's 12 of them. So I will go ahead and show you the last one. I'd actually put the sticky on. I thought, no, this is the piece that I need. So bearing in mind that it is 6 by 6, and quite often they have an orientation. So if you've got the trees, for example, you've cut the pieces, then this piece that went across the top on the template, I don't actually even, oh, here we go. This piece on the template, sometimes, depending on the paper that you're using, is a horizontal pattern. And the same with the pumpkins. Not so much with the doves, but they need to be, you know, you can't use that piece, but you can use the other side, because most of the patterns that have an orientation on one side don't have it on the other. So same measurements, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I put the 1/6 of the basic white inside, and then we've got the 2 smaller layers cut down. And then all I'm going to do is decide on my patterns, of course. And the fact that this is oriented the wrong way doesn't deter, it doesn't really make a difference. So we've got these 3 patterns. Stick them on the whole cattywampus, and there you have it. So the next piece of the puzzle was to do the greeting. So I cut an oval out of the new everyday ovals, and then I brought in iconic imagery, which goes with the iconic celebrations, and picked some stamps. So to coordinate the colors, I'm going to use this lovely cherry cobbler. So let me just bring in one of the samples so I make sure I'm doing it the right way. Totally not. Totally got my colours mixed up. So we'll put the leaf in the cranberry. I mean, you can mix and match them. There's no set way. I was just trying to follow my own sample. And then the grateful can be green. And then the nice thing about these little For You, it's two separate stamps. There's a For and there's a U. And what I did was I lined them up. Well, look, I'll do it again so I can show you the little trick. If you put them where you want them to be on your greeting, oh, it's going to stick to me now, isn't it? Just to be spiteful. So now you've got them where you want them to be. If you attach them to the acrylic block, that is actually where they will end up being. So, and then you can restamp them multiple times in the same position. So again, I will just bring in the dimensionals. Oops. And pop those on the front. And everything matches nicely. So we've got the gold textured lovely little doodads, and we've got the faux glass dots, which are more coloured, so you could choose whichever ones you want. Let me just find my stylus, which has decided to run away, which is quite funny because if you watch my videos, you'll know that it keeps trying to roll into place. So we'll put a red one, a green one, and a nice gold one up in the top corner. So again, rule of 3. So there you have it, my lovelies. So let me bring back in the cards that I made. So we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 that we've made from the 5 sheets of cardstock, designer series paper. Don't know why I keep calling it cardstock, with the one left over that we can add to a different project. So that's the whole 9 yards of it. So you can get the lovely cards made with the 12 by 12 and fussy cut out the bird from the designer series paper. 8 sheets will get you 13 cards with a little bit of coordinating cardstock and some of the lovely gems. Directions and dimensions will always be on my blog, along with the template to show you how to cut it. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate those. If you've got any questions or comments, pop those in the description box below. I'll always get back to everybody. Thank you so much for watching.